No, wait.
All right. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Dude's Brunch, the podcast where we talk about breakfast food, pop culture, and whatever else comes to mind in whatever order we feel like. With me this evening, as always, hailing from the suburbs of Cincinnati, Ohio, we have Tyler Reed. Tyler, what do you have for brunch today?
Oh, you know, the usual. Actually, I say that, but I didn't have the usual. I've been experimenting with tacos at Chipotle because, you know, that's where I have my brunch every day. So I've been getting the corn soft tortillas and been kind of making my own little tacos. So having pork with it instead of the usual chicken.
What's the verdict?
Pretty great. I mean, if you've been to a place like Django Tacos or like Bakersfield or whatever make your own taco kind of places, it's pretty comparable, just as good, you know, just at Chipotle. So it's probably not very cheap. Actually, I don't know. It's probably the same. I don't know. I've learned that you can get a bowl and tortillas, and I don't think it costs extra. So there's a life hack for you right there.
We talk about the important things here on Dude's
Right.
Brunch. How to life hack your Chipotle order.
That's right.
I've been doing that for a while, so not any news to me.
Quesaritos.
I live under
Not
a
even
rock.
once.
Slinging
Quesadillas?
suits. Oh yeah, well we'll talk about quesaritos in a second. Slinging suits up in Akron, Ohio, at the Akron area Banana Republic. We have Sean Evans. Sean, what'd you have for brunch today?
Black coffee. That was it. I didn't get up until 11:30, so
Rough night last night?
no, not really. I just had a really long day yesterday, so I just decided I was going to sleep in.
Fair enough.
Good plan.
And as always, in scenic Athens, Ohio, I am your host, Taylor, and for brunch today, I went home for the weekend, and home, like to my parents' home, and my dad made creme brulee French toast, which was incredible. It was so good, I just wanted to eat it over and over for the rest of my life.
So you're gonna throw it up and then eat it again, right? Is that what you're gonna do?
Probably not.
Okay.
I'm going to rethink that statement.
There you go.
So we have a number of things to talk about tonight, but I think we should probably start with the common denominator in all of our day, coffee.
Oh, I was going to say books.
No,
That's
although
it.
everyone should read a book. Read a book.
Just like to note that we have the exact same number of topics we have every week, but I digress.
Except
That's why I say we have a number of topics. The number is always 3.
We have the same number. Whatever. Doesn't matter.
All right,
so-
Tyler, you want to talk about coffee?
All right. So
Oh,
I
we
saw
should
the
tell
top-
everyone. I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt you again.
right.
We should tell everyone that you can interact with the show in the sidebar through the
yes.
questions or tweet at Dudes Brunch on Twitter, and feel free to play along at home. So, Tyler, let's talk coffee.
Okay. So I took a look at some of the topics we were going to talk about this week, and so I decided, you know, it's like, let's just talk about something basic, something that we don't really got to like get analytical about, something just fun. So I picked coffee. So what I wanted to know is, what's been your experience with coffee? When did you start drinking coffee, and why? So I'll start. My journey with coffee actually starts with tea.
thanks for asking.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You're going with me to prom, girl. You don't have a choice.
That's right. I don't have to.
Well, you already did it. so
No,
just
you
go
already
ahead.
started now. Let's
You
go.
obviously don't matter.
Joke's done,
Okay.
you bully.
Dudes
Anyway,
Brunch, the podcast where Tyler bullies us, and then we say mean things about him on Twitter afterwards.
that is completely untrue, but it's fine. It's fine.
Go ahead.
What time did I get off work yesterday, Taylor?
Hey, let's talk about coffee. How'd
Okay.
you start drinking coffee, Tyler? Do tell.
Yeah. Well, now I don't feel like talking about it anymore. So go ahead, Taylor.
This is like
Go ahead.
the worst.
Clearly, your story's better than that. Clearly.
Okay, fine.
Read my
I'll
game.
talk about how I started drinking coffee then. I was working at summer camp, and I wasn't getting enough sleep because I was 16 and basically living in dorms. And so my boss was like, "Here, have this coffee." And it was camp coffee, so it was not very good, but it was really low in caffeine. And so it kind of eased me into the coffee drinking process with lots of cream and sugar and not a whole lot of coffee, up progressively to real coffee that I drink now. But I still take cream and sugar most of the time because, I don't know, I just do. Um, yeah, it's been about 6 years now that I've been drinking coffee. Haven't looked back. Totally worth it.
Good. Good. John?
February 2004. We were still in trimesters in high school, and I had gym my second trimester, and I was not feeling it, so I went to one of the classrooms where they had a hot pot boiler. So I had some instant coffee, and I hated it for a long time. Now I love it. Now it's probably my favorite thing ever.
Nothing to be ashamed of. Nothing to be ashamed of. All right, so do you prefer to make your...
You didn't tell us how you started drinking
You
coffee.
didn't share.
Well...
Sharing is caring, Tyler.
All right.
She doesn't do a lot up here.
So
on Brunch.
my coffee adventure actually starts with tea, as I was saying before. I decided to stop drinking soda, which I was drinking like a couple cans of Coke every day. So this was in like high school, early high school. And so I was like, well, I do not feel energized at all anymore, so I should probably drink something. So I decided on tea. Started with sweet tea, went to just black tea, or not black tea, unsweet tea. And then I started working at Dunkin' Donuts. Pretty much. Actually, no. I went to Starbucks to work all the time to do like design work and whatnot. And so I think I drank Americanos for a really long time.
Good choice.
And my stance has always been I will not drink hot coffee at all. Because if I wanted to burn my mouth, I'd drink soup. So, you know...
those are harsh words.
I mean,
You didn't start drinking coffee until you were like halfway through college?
Yeah, actually.
Wow. Zach tweeted in that he started drinking coffee in the 8th grade because he would get up and start babysitting every morning at 5:30.
Ooh.
And so the mother of the kids that he babysat would put on a pot and he would have some.
How many kids
He
does he
takes
have?
his with sugary creamers. So I'm guessing like the Coffee Mate, like refrigerated creamers, which I approve. Those are good. They're tasty. Other people watching right now, when did you start drinking coffee? Let's see if we can figure out who started the earliest. I was a sophomore in high school.
Wow. Yeah, mine wasn't until like halfway through college. But yeah, Starbucks was really my first experience with like actually drinking coffee seriously. I forgot that I had experimented with like flavors and stuff for a while, and I was like, wait a second, I probably shouldn't be getting free refills on like syruped like iced coffees. And so then my plan was to go Americanos, and then I just started drinking black iced coffee. And I'm at the pinnacle of my coffee experience where I only go to 1215, which has the best coffee I've ever had, or Dunkin' Donuts, which is acceptable level of coffee for me.
They do have good coffee. They have much better coffee than like IHOP or any place like that.
Or Starbucks. Shots fired. Get
Yeah,
wrecked,
shots
kids.
fired for sure, but I think if you just want a solid cup of coffee, Dunkin'. If you want a coffee drink, Starbucks.
Okay. I just think that their black coffee is better at Dunkin' Donuts.
I agree.
Well, I would also like to start a war so
Interesting.
everyone fight amongst yourselves.
See, I don't agree with that.
Yeah?
I don't agree. I think Starbucks coffee is better than Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
I've taken this scientifically, and I have Starbucks coffee at home and Dunkin' Donuts coffee at home.
Okay.
And I use it through the Keurig and through my espresso maker, my Brazzetti. And I think that Starbucks still has a better flavor. For me at least.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying that if Dunkin' Donuts was to say like, hey, we'll give you free coffee for the rest of your life, I would totally never turn them down.
I think for
You
me,
can
it's that
convert
it's a stronger coffee. I think at Starbucks, I think by far has a stronger brew because also Dunkin' Donuts waters theirs down. So,
Ooh, we're learning the secrets now.
right, you're supposed to put like a vat of water in with it. But so I would definitely agree that there's a case for drinking Starbucks if you want a stronger cup of coffee. So.
For me, I started drinking crappy food service coffee at camp. So pretty much anything more than that is alright coffee to me.
Yeah.
I found that some restaurants like habitually burn their coffee because people don't order it enough and it just sits on the burner for too long.
Mm-hmm.
IHOP is really bad about that. Yeah, Starbucks. Zach says Starbucks stores tend to burn their beans. I would agree with that. I've gotten a lot of burnt coffee at Starbucks that's just really kind of sour, like not even bitter, but sour.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me though, the best coffee is always like cheap diner coffee. And I know that sounds gross.
Favorite place to get cheap diner coffee?
Someplace like a Union Street diner or Waffle House. I think Waffle House has actually some of the best, just solid cup of coffee you can buy.
Yeah.
I don't think I was supposed to link a video into my discussion questions. I'm assuming you didn't see it.
No, you didn't link a video. You can tell me what it is later, and I'll put it in the show notes for everybody.
I was doing it through my iPad, and for some reason I couldn't just like hot link it. Whatever. Anyway, so basically there was like a coffee connoisseur that taste tested a bunch of different drinks, and so he's like has like a tarry texture in hints of Jolly Rancher. You know, he gave like Starbucks like a 1. He gave Folgers like a 4. You know, it was like he went through like a bunch of like really cheap coffees, and you know he gave them like ratings, and it was pretty surprising that he gave Starbucks actually pretty one of the worst ratings.
It's okay.
But you know, I mean they're all in like blank cups, so but who knows? I know. But anyway, and someone's blowing up my phone. I bet it's Catherine. Yep.
That's not really your phone. That's
an iPad.
That's the second time you said someone's blowing
Hold
up
it
my
up to my face.
Pick up like a laptop to your face.
Well,
like,
see, the thing is,
hello. Oh, I'm sorry. This isn't a phone. This is a slate tablet.
Right. Okay. So anyway,
calls on my black.
My iPad was dinging, and my butt was vibrating.
Ooh.
There you go. So I had two things going on at the same time.
Well, you know, as we learned last week, true love is throwing your $200 iPad across the room because you don't want to talk to your significant other because you're too busy recording a podcast with your friends.
Anyway, so Catherine gave some insight here. A lot of coffee is garbage because American taste for coffee is about caffeine content and tasting good rather than actually enjoying coffee flavor.
Right.
Also a pro tip, unglazed donut plus coffee equals instant diner experience.
Agreed.
Once again, Catherine.
Doesn't it need to be cold and filled with linoleum?
Tweet it, please.
Yeah, Catherine, if you could tweet that so it pops up on my screen in front of my face, because I can't see his messages. Zach tweeted a picture of a bum coffee maker, like the kind that you get in offices and at diners, and he put dream coffee maker. I love
we should
the
talk
industrial
about things like that.
like, bun coffee makers. I think they
dream
do such a good job.
emoji coffee maker.
I want to hear everybody's best place to get coffee. Like, I would drive to this place to get their coffee every day, and best way to make coffee.
Because that's my point too, right? We're going on to the next question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you prefer to make it at home or go and purchase? So.
Yeah. It depends on what I'm doing. I have coffee at home almost every single day. So that is a different kind of coffee drinking for me than like the social, let's go get a coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't really care what I drink in the morning as long as it's like got enough flavor to be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll routinely buy Folgers and then just put some kind of like lightly flavored creamer or something into it.
To be fair, Folgers is pretty good.
Yeah, Folgers is good coffee for as cheap as it is.
Not that I would
not
know.
buy Maxwell House. But yeah, so at home, drip coffee maker with Folgers is all I need. I don't do the AeroPress or any of that crazy, like, techno-grade coffee stuff because I just don't feel the need. If I'm going out, though, I do like to go to a nicer coffee place that has, like, interesting roasts and stuff. Really, anywhere that I can get a roast with some kind of fruity notes to it, like grapefruit or something like that. I think it's the Kenyan blend at Starbucks. I really like because it has mango and grapefruit in it. It's just a nice juxtaposition of flavors, you could say.
Someone's blowing up your phone.
Yeah, Zach's blowing up Twitter.
Good for him.
He says, made it home for sure. Interesting. A lot of people would rather go out.
Wrongly disagree.
Decaf is usually worse because it actually costs more.
Yes, it does.
Does it really?
There's a lot more waste in it because you have to do a chemical process to remove the caffeine.
Didn't know that. I've never bought decaf.
Also, why bother?
Yeah.
Well, you could like the flavor of coffee and be like caffeine sensitive.
Right.
That's true.
Like, and this, I mean, I used to think that too. Like, why would you waste your time? But if you like, okay, so let me just, I like the smoky taste of it. Like, I think that's why I like brewed drinks a little bit because they remind me of. There's like something about them, you know, something that's almost Mad Men-esque. Like I almost want to compare them to cigarettes and cigars a little bit because there's like a burning and there's like a leafiness to them that's like kind of seductive, kind of dark. And yeah, but I think like my uncle is really sensitive to caffeine, so he always has decaf coffee just because he likes the taste of coffee a lot, and he likes like he still wants that flavor. But he just can't be like, you know, his heart can't be rushing all the time with caffeine and stuff.
Right. I, of course, would not be so offensive as to actually say that why bother with decaf because I've had people that specifically, you know, Catherine was doing decaf for a while, but she fell back to the dark side because it was just too strong, too powerful.
Yes.
The real coffee.
Pockets with the dark side.
Right.
So, Tyler, you don't make coffee at home ever, do you?
Not at all. Mostly because like I said, I only drink iced coffee. So, the point
Iced coffee is a lot of work.
We can check back in when I start cold brewing stuff. Then we'll see.
Yeah, cold brewing is really catching on right now.
Yeah. I'm all about that. I want to start doing it sooner or later. We'll see. But I do like going out because if I'm doing like my freelance thing, you know, that's going to be the only time I'm going to be going out all day. So I'm going to go out, I'm going to get my coffee, and I'm literally going to sit right here and do work all day. So, you know, it's my like get out of the house reason. So
that's fair. Sean, are you more coffee at home or coffee out?
Both. I don't hate. I'll take coffee wherever I can get it. It depends on what I want. I mean, when I go to work, a lot of times I get cappuccinos, or not cappuccinos, I get espressos because I don't have an espresso machine. Because I don't really have like $400 to spend on an espresso machine. Right. Someday I will, though, definitely.
Actually, Goodwill has a bunch of espresso machines typically that people just don't want anymore.
I'll just take my chances.
Weird. It's really weird.
But I do, like I said, I have a Keurig, I have a French press, I have a Prezidi coffee maker, I have a regular drip maker that I use all of them on a regular basis because I think they all make different kinds of coffee. I actually don't like the Keurig very much.
Yeah, we have one at work that I use sometimes, and like, unless you really want something with a weird flavor, I don't know the point of it.
Well, it's really expensive and compared to other ways to make coffee, I think. But yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, one thing that I do love, this is going to sound really weird, my favorite place to go get coffee ever, like hands down, IKEA.
Really?
They have the best coffee I've ever tasted in my whole life.
Wow.
Actually, the best coffee I've ever tasted in my whole life was in Cancun. they did like the Mexican coffee that's kind of like chocolatey and spicy.
Mm-hmm.
But then they rimmed the glass in Kahlua and then burned the Kahlua off, and so it's just the sugar and a little bit of the syrup from the Kahlua that's left. And so as you drink it, that dissolves into your coffee. That was awesome.
Like some kind of coffee margarita?
Yeah, it was kind of like a hot margarita.
Mm.
It was really, really good.
This is a really erotic conversation.
This isn't an erotic conversation. Let's see, Catherine. I live above a coffee place, so it's hard to want to make inferior AeroPress coffee literally feet away. Pod coffee is garbage. I'm interested in the AeroPress because, like, I see a lot of people online rave about it, but I've heard it takes a long time.
Not really. It takes a few minutes. It just depends on how much you want. It depends on how much coffee you want, though. I mean, it doesn't take any longer than if you use your French press because you still have to heat up the water and pour it into the press and then put the coffee in and then squeeze it out. And I mean, but I like the process of making, there's something like hands-on.
Yeah, I enjoy hands-on processes for sure. Right. But I like my drip coffee maker because I can start it, cook my whole breakfast, and then by the time I'm done cooking, the coffee's ready to drink.
Oh. Well, I do have... Go ahead, Tyler.
I was just going to say that pod coffee is clearly designed for, like, the office space where you're appealing to literally anyone in the world that could walk in, and you're not, like, making it for
and
coffee.
A lot of it is people bringing their own pods into work and keeping them at their desk.
Right. So that's what I would say about, like, Keurig and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
Did you guys read that article that I posted on our Slack a while back about the Prezidi coffee maker?
Yes.
No.
You didn't read it?
I didn't.
Okay.
No.
Well, there was so it was about the rise of fascism in Italy, and then it talked about how caffeine and aluminum were supposed to be like the two that like brought modernization together for Italy, because until that time, brewing coffee at home was this like long, complicated out process, and going to the coffee bar was literally like something you did after work, where you went and like talked shop and before you went to work and after you came home, and then you went there and you hung out and there's like this community thing. Well, after after World War II, they started, aluminum was supposed to be the way to go. It was supposed to help modernize Italian society. It was going to be their steel to us during the 1800s and stuff. So it kind of revolutionized the fact that now you could make coffee at your home that was just as good as it was at the bar, and that men could do it because coffee was seen as this very masculine thing. Caffeine was a very masculine thing to drink. So that's how that whole arose, and now, what did it say? Like, I think every Italian home has one.
Mm-hmm.
Like every single one or something. Like they've made that many, and it's like constantly a thing for them. So I don't know. I thought that was really interesting. I think that's what makes coffee kind of weird. There's like this little cult around it.
That's actually the reason why I wanted to talk about it this week, is because I read that like a week ago or so, and I was like, oh.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think there's a cult of coffee here in the U.S., and especially in the Midwest, where it's always like, oh, let's go get a coffee. Let's do a coffee. Like,
I would say it's on the West Coast a lot more than here.
I think it may just be a thing everywhere. Like, we just are a coffee-drinking society socially now.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I find that really fascinating. Also, Zach brought up a great point that also makes me really sad. That the best part of drip coffee making is the automated timer. My current coffee pot doesn't have an automated timer, and I'm so salty about it, but I don't want to buy a new coffee pot. Like,
you know what my automated timer is? Listening for the sweet hiss of my coffee being done and walking over and pulling it off of the stove and pouring it into my mug.
And on that very sensual note, let's talk about something else before, I don't know, we get in some trouble. I don't know. Who wants to go next? Do we want to okay, coffee can be sexy. I guess technology can be sexy. Do we want to talk about technology?
That's right, Taylor.
Okay.
Sexy living in
That was a really
America.
bad segue.
Dude,
John wants to talk
yeah, no,
technology.
that was an awkward segue of sexy technology.
Shut
Okay,
up and
Taylor, before
talk.
you even start, what's the sexiest piece of technology out right now, Taylor? What
Honestly,
grinds your gears?
okay,
Yeah.
take the case off of your phone right now and just hold your iPhone 6 in your hand.
I have my 4.
I mean, the 4 is not as fun to hold. I think the curved glass and the curved aluminum of the iPhone 6 just feels lovely. Like, it just feels great in your hand.
Something aesthetically erotic about it.
Yeah, like, it's just nice. I was telling Wilson today, like, I love my Apple products because I can look at them and say, this is a tool. It is masterfully crafted. It serves a purpose. It accomplishes a task.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Just ignore those early builds that people were vending.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so my my topic this week is called Under 100. I've been on Reddit a lot looking at their gadgets, and I realized that there's a bunch of stuff. It seems to be like the threshold for me, and probably a lot of other people seems to be like the $100 mark. Like, how much are you willing to pay for like non-crazy items? Like, if it's a laptop, you're probably you probably think like under $100 might be a little bit, you're getting an inferior product, or phones or something like that. But I was really excited to see the way that technology seems to be integrating things right now. So I looked at a few items, particularly Intel's little PC stick, the Chrome bit, and Windows 8.1, which are all little sticks that you can plug into your HDMI port on your television, and essentially it turns it into a Chromebook, or like a little Airbook. There's a little company called Xiaomi Yi right now from China. They just made a little tiny camera that's gonna it was called the GoPro Killer, and it cost $64 out of the box. It does the same thing, and I think that the video is a little bit better. There's lots of comparison videos. There's a little tiny watch now, a little smartwatch. It's not as developed as iWatch, but it's called Pebble Time. There's a little tiny camera ring that I saw, and the video was kind of cool, I guess. It showed like you put it in or it's a ring box, and it has a little camera in it, and then when you propose to somebody, it like videotapes their reaction, and so you can like always have that and like treasure that moment for the rest of your life.
That sounds pretty Japanese.
I mean, that's true. No, like that's kind of a cultural thing that they put cameras in a lot of things that I think we are a bit more nervous about.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't really see anything on the video that was like what happens when they say no. Like this, like.
I didn't even think about that. That's awful.
And then you have to relive that for the rest of your life. Oh, and then the last one was, and I want to talk about this because that was really weird. The Amazon button, the dash button. I don't know if you guys have seen this. It's like a little button, and you just stick it on stuff, and then if you run out of like Tide, and you hit the little button on top of your washer, and it automatically orders it through Amazon.
Wait, is that real?
Yeah, it's a new thing they're doing.
And all of these things are under $100. So I just thought it was really cool. Like this, we're seeing this. So I want to talk about this. So, do you have any of these cool under $100 gadgets? Do you like them?
Yeah, I'll start. I bought a Chromecast when they first came out because I didn't have cable. I don't have cable still. And I watch a lot of YouTube, and so I really wanted to be able to watch YouTube on a bigger screen. I got it for Christmas and plugged it into my parents' TV on Christmas morning, and they loved it so much that they made me go out on the day after Christmas and buy them one because they were about ready to keep the one they bought me. Since then, I've bought another one for myself and given another one as a gift. So in the last year, I think I've purchased or been given 4 Chromecasts. I love these things. They cost $25. You can cast almost any app worth anything to any TV with an HDMI port. I rave about them all the time. My dad actually showed me this weekend while I was home. They're starting to build games for it. And so you can like play cards where like your hand is on your phone.
Oh, it's to compete with like Wii.
Yeah. I mean, they're all casual games. They're like Scrabble and cards and stuff like that.
Oh, well.
But it's nice because everybody can play on the devices they already have on a TV that's already in your house.
Mm-hmm.
I really, I can't talk about how much I love the Chromecast. So when the Chrome Bit came out, which is like the computer version with a bit more features, I'm interested. I do love my Chromecast because it's limited though. Like it's a fairly single-use product. So I don't know if I'm gonna like using a whole computer on my TV. I'm interested. I'll try it.
What about you, Tyler?
Well, like Taylor, I also have a Chromecast. The funny part is I had almost the exact opposite happen. I gave my parents a Roku, and they're like, "We have to pay for all these things?" Ugh. Never mind. So, I mean, I like my Chromecast, and so I use it from time to time. I guess for me, I don't know if I'm necessarily interested in PCs on a stick at the moment, because my work is actually almost everything I do on a computer requires probably more than what this thing is going to be able to put out. So, you're probably not going to be able to do any gaming.
No.
Design work is probably going to be pretty poor. So it's not that I'm not excited about it. It's just that for me personally, it doesn't have, I think, a real application at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Unless, I mean, eventually maybe like the Creative Cloud, with the Adobe Creative Cloud suite might, I could see maybe using a Chrome bit, then also using Creative Cloud, and that kind of works together.
Honestly, the thing I could see you using it for, and the thing I'd be interested in it for, is presenting work.
Yeah.
So, like, if you need to go to a client presentation or travel for a sales meeting or whatever,
yeah,
to be able to take a version of your desktop with your PowerPoints and your spreadsheets and everything, and just plug it into the TV in their conference room, that's kind of nice. I think it'd be good for people who travel on business a lot.
Right.
I guess so, because you didn't bring a computer with you to show it off, but yeah, that's assuming they have a TV. There's all sorts of those questions, like if you're going to like interviews or whatever.
I think most conference rooms have a projector or a TV in them now.
I understand that, but I'm just basically regurgitating what someone more like older than me would probably tell me.
Oh, I know.
So,
like, I really like the idea of this. I like the idea of the Chrome bit and like Intel's little PC stick and Microsoft and stuff, because I think there's a huge audience for this out there that they just don't know. It's not that big yet, Like, to answer my own question, I have a Roku. I only watch Netflix on it really and HBO Go, so it's not really that big of a deal. But back to this topic. Well, it only has the 16 gigs on the stick. So basically it allows enough to have a limited capacity. But I think there were lots of netbooks now, that's only what they come with, is like enough to install if you wanted to put like a Windows suite on there. That's enough. But then you have to plug in like an SD drive to actually have memory, which is okay because you can, for $60 you can get, 80 gigs worth of SD card, which will be enough to last, a baby.
If all you're doing is Word documents, yeah.
Right, exactly. And that's why I think like this is where I think these are good, because for the baby boomers who already find themselves attracted to this new technology, they already know how televisions work. They know how computers work. So integrating these two things where you don't have to move in between is okay, because for the most part, like I look at users, it's like having a tablet. For the three of us, having a tablet really isn't that nice, because what we need to do requires a lot of RAM and memory and processing and things like that. But having a tablet for somebody who just checks email, gets on social media networks,
and watches the occasional YouTube video.
watches videos, that is a good product. The tablet is a perfect product for them, because they're not, at work, maybe they do Excel or something like that, but they don't bring their work home. So spending $1,000 on an Apple product to do all that stuff is pointless for them, when they could have something that does what they need to do like quickly and very inexpensive. Well, now if you can take that technology and plug it into a television and have a keyboard that's literally on your lap, and now instead of having a monitor that's 11 inches big, it's now 52 inches big. You can do all this, and I think there's a market that's ready to have that kind of technology.
Yep, I agree. I think my mother, in particular, is the market for this because all she needs to do is her bills and her email.
Right.
However, my dad has a Microsoft Surface that she loves, and she never turns on her computer anymore.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And I think that Zach tweeted a second ago that this is the second wave of the net top. I really think that for people our parents' age and people who just need something lightweight at home, the Chrome bit is good for one audience that is like stuck in one place.
Mm-hmm.
And people who travel around a little bit more, something like the Microsoft Surface, where it converts between the two, is perfect. Honestly, like I have an iPad for work because I need to do a few Apple-specific tasks on it, but I would love a Microsoft Surface at home if it had just a little bit better app library on it, because it's great. Like it has a full keyboard, it can run Word and Excel, but then it can also just be an app device and do stupid like YouTube stuff.
And like Tyler was saying with the cloud, I think, like, okay, so when they unveiled the new MacBook, I was totally like, yep, everybody wants to go to cloud. Like, I don't see hard drives being around for more than 10 years. Everybody is pushing you to get on the cloud as quick as you can. So in terms of like cloud-based applications, the Chrome bit is perfect.
Yep.
I mean, that's what everybody's going to. I don't know if I'm totally down with that yet. I think I'll come around to the idea, because I like having like my stuff be mine, and not having it just once you upload it, it's the property of us because you uploaded it to us, and that's it, blah blah blah. But whatever.
I think that's going to be the real question: is how do we deal with the legal of who these files belong to and how they get leased, and when we can finally figure that out, I think hard drives are going to start to go away.
Right.
It's going to take a long time.
All of my design files throughout my entire career on Dropbox, so if Dropbox dies, I'm gone forever.
Oh yeah, Dropbox, like between Dropbox and iCloud, without the two of them I would be screwed.
Right. But that's what I think. Like you guys are almost like already there in terms of being able, you just need an interface that allows you access to these things.
Yeah. Hopefully an interface that combines them. But if not, at least interfaces that are close enough. Yeah. And I think that's really the big thing. My dad is getting a little bit better about that, but he still works in HD video files, so he can't work in the cloud.
Mm-hmm.
Zach says that Haley's family is having issues with like conceptualizing the Chromecast. This idea that like you're not playing the video on your phone, you're playing it through the internet on your TV. You're just using your phone as a remote. I think that screws with people's heads. It's weird. I agree. So the Chrome bit, it's probably going to be a bit of a stretch for some people. But again, I think if people stop using terms like cloud computing and net neutrality and encryption and like find sexier, more interesting, or even just easy, like more clear verbiage for this stuff, it's going to be a lot easier. It's like that John Oliver thing. How do you get people to care about net neutrality? You stop packaging it in the most boring package possible.
You talk about your pee-pee.
Yeah, if you haven't seen that this week, John Oliver interviewed Edward Snowden and was like, the problem with everything that you're talking about is that it's boring. So we're going to go article by article through these acts and tell me whether or not the government can see my dick pics because of this.
Spoiler alert, most of them, they can
see your dick. And
love it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way that we need to talk to people about computers now, because it's surpassing people's like lay imagination, if you will.
How much RAM do you use when you run Adobe Suites, Tyler? You don't even know. How much RAM do you have on your laptop? I have no idea.
I just use this thing. It functions. I don't know. I feel like that's a problem with Mac in general, is that like they don't really talk about those sorts of things. Like it's not like you buy the biggest one, you buy the biggest and best MacBook Pro when you have the money to buy one. You don't buy anything less than the top of the line.
Oh, I don't think that's true at all. I handpicked the parts that I put into my MacBook Pro.
I mean, but you probably pick the better ones.
No, I picked the best on some of them, the medium ones on some of them, the lowest on some of them.
Right, but I'm sure you don't remember, and then you don't tinker with it. Like, if you
I don't take it apart and like change the parts
Right.
out. I know people that do, but I don't care.
I would say the majority of the Mac user base doesn't
No, they don't.
open up their book, mess with it. You know, I feel like because also if you mess with it, there's also a chance that they just won't even look at your laptop anymore. You know.
Right.
Which is a whole separate issue about warranties and servicing and
So-
Zach, I see your tweet about
Okay.
network speeds. I don't want to touch that because
Okay,
that's
so-
a whole can of worms.
Back to the topic. What do you want to see for under $100? What would be an item that you would like go nuts for? If it maybe it's out already, maybe it's not out, but you would still love to see it like make this under $100 mark. That would be really cool.
I bought a modest microphone for $100.
Look at that thing.
Actually, yeah, that's kind of where mine is too. I think equipment for production of creative stuff
Hmm.
needs to go down in price. I think cameras are overpriced. Microphones are a little bit better now. Mixers and EQs and stuff like that, they're way too expensive. Like, and they're priced that way to keep a certain barrier to entry in the industry, which makes sense. Yeah, I mean, it's not explicit, but there is a certain level of, like, because it's a pro product, it needs to be priced in the pro tier.
Hmm.
And I really just I want a little bit more equitable access between prosumer creators and the big studios. It's getting better, but it could get more better in the future.
Yeah. How about you, Tyler? Anything?
On the same note, I would say that I'm sure they exist, but like Cintiq tablets are like these huge, like almost computer-like surfaces that you can draw on,
Mhm.
like illustration stuff. They're pretty pricey. I doubt they'll ever be below $100. I mean, you can get dinky, like you're like, yay! But I mean, you're not like literally like on your computer like drawing. It doesn't feel like it's quite as like tangible.
Mhm.
So I guess I would say from a creative perspective, that would be the only thing that I would want to see drop in price. I'm sure I'll look on the internet for like 5 seconds to be able to find something that costs about that much, but we'll see. I don't know. Adobe has their continuous grasp on the creative world, so let's see. I think it costs $25 a month to have access to the Creative Cloud for all Adobe products, which, I mean, for me as an entry-level designer is way too much money. You know, I can't afford $25. You know, I'm still living with my parents, and I don't make nearly enough money for that. So I don't know how that would ever get any better, though. And I mean, I guess there could be other programs that could just be cheaper.
There are. If you dig around in the net long enough, you can find certain software that can replace the Adobe software for cheaper.
Right.
But
I
not
just wanted
every-
to have that seal of approval, you know.
And that's, once again, kind of an industry thing where they get really snooty about what tools you use
Right.
rather than the work that you produce.
I don't know. There's not really a whole lot that I feel like I need to be less than $100. I mean, I have a mic. I got a Chromecast so I can watch TV. TVs aren't expensive. Laptops are expensive, but that's never going to go down. You know.
What about
I'm
you,
looking-
Shannon?
Oh, I don't know. There's not really anything out there right now that I'm like, I don't know. I'm kind of reactionary to it, and not really so much on the front side of it. But my studies in disability, when I was in graduate school, I I've seen some of this adaptive technology, and it's pretty expensive. It's not cheap, and it's usually pretty bulky. So I guess I'd like to see a heavy investment into little things that would make computers and using the internet and using communication devices more accessible for people that are, they have different challenges to using such things. So I'd like to see that, because I think a lot of that is really expensive, and disability studies has taught me that, people with disabilities are, they're on the out group in terms of income, so it's like really expensive things to do things that everybody's doing that you should be able to do.
Do you have any examples?
I mean, I think about people with like prosthetics.
Yeah.
And particularly with arms, and using like keyboards and mice. Mice, is that plural? I mean, and I don't know if you guys have used your speech software on your Mac yet. Have you turned it on or used it, or have you used Dragon or anything?
Nope.
Okay. Well, I downloaded it on my Mac just to use it sometimes to see what it was like. It's not that good. I mean, it's pretty awful to have to type things, because I still find myself speaking things clearly, and it still makes a lot of mistakes, and I think, well, it's okay because I can sit there with my hands on the keyboard and go back and correct things, but it's still so time-consuming to do. I don't know, so I guess I'd like to see a lot more possibilities for that. Or you see these like inspirational stories on the news of people that like put a stick in their mouth and like punch keys, and it's like, why should they have to do that? Doesn't that seem kind of dumb? Shouldn't we be helping these people out? So I don't know. I guess it's what I would wish we put more money to. Just allowing more access for everybody.
Catherine has something to say about this.
I'll let you read it. I think we definitely need to read this, though.
Right. Sean spelled incorrectly. That's okay.
That's okay.
She says, you're on point about adaptive technology. My mom has spent thousands of dollars worth of stroke therapy technology. So
that's what I mean. I think that there's no reason that we should be doing this. It just seems like if we would, and I don't know, I guess it's hard for people to think about, because to be honest, I walked around the world for 20-something years before I even realized that, like, OU is the most unaccessible campus for anybody who has any disability, period, on Earth. And they do nothing to try and fix it, and when they do, everyone complains about it because, oh, you have to put an elevator in the building, that's such bullcrap. It's like, it's bullcrap to put an elevator in a building? Like, you're really just being kind of...
Which actually benefits everyone.
Right, so, yeah, but I don't know, so I'd like to see that.
Elevator specifically just gives the feeling of like laziness, and it's
right, yeah, it's
people.
And that's a whole ingrained societal issue that we don't want to get into.
Right.
Is it lazy if you had your hand blown off by a grenade overseas?
Right. Catherine corrects her spelling of Sean. Zach says that while he was working at Micro Center, he tried to help customers with accessible tech, and it was just as bad. Like, the software is not good, and I think you're absolutely right. And certain disabilities get more luck with that than others.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think that's going to be the big challenge in the next 10 years, is how can we make the technology we already have accessible to everyone?
Would a one-handed keyboard that's set up in like a T9 setup, would that be beneficial to someone? I don't know.
What it's going to have to look like is multiple different kinds of inputs.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think as we move more and more towards touch, that's going to be helpful. And as we improve speech-to-text software, that's going to be helpful.
That's probably actually going to be the biggest point. Is like it, because if you are very slow typing, first of all, slow typer. Second of all, you only have if you only have like one hand, or you have some sort of hand deficiency. I mean, that's just going to be a nightmare. I mean, you can try to type it out, but I can only imagine how like embarrassing that is.
Have you guys seen the Parkinson's pen?
Yes.
Have you guys seen this? It's like a little pin, and it has like a gyroscope in it, And then someone with Parkinson's, their hands they shake all the time, and it allows them to write like really clearly because
Wow.
it helps counteract the shaking of their hands, and it's really cool. And I think it's kind of expensive right now, but I would love to see that. I know it doesn't really have that much to do with computers, but I would love to see that kind of technology available on for mass consumption by people. And I know we've only talked about like one disability, and this is just look at all the problems we talked about with just not having proper use of your hands or ability to use your hands. Like, what if you're blind or you? There's like so many other things, or deaf or anything. You're at a lack of using what we do every day without any problems.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, I think we're on a really great conversation here, but I do want to get to our last topic. Because we're going on an hour, and I know we try to keep the show at or around an hour. So my topic, we got really deep there, and I think that was great. And it makes me kind of feel bad because my topic is super surface level. So one of my favorite bands is Matt and Kim, and their new album came out this week, which I'm excited about, and I'm going to see them on Thursday. I'll have a recap of that show on next week's episode. But one of the things I really love about Matt and Kim is that they intentionally make music that's just fun. They say in interviews a lot, we don't feel like we need to mature, and we don't need to like make art, like artsy music. We just want to make music that people can like come out to shows and sing along to and have a really good time.
You could dance like white people too.
Truth. So I guess my first question surrounding this is dumb fun entertaining? I had you guys listen to the album as a precursor to this as well. You can give your thoughts on the album as well if you want. Somebody want to go? Somebody want to say anything? What do you think of the album? Is dumb fun entertaining?
Okay. Okay.
Go ahead, Tyler.
Okay, all right. I listened to it a few times. It's probably one of their more solid albums, I would say. I would say it was a pretty good listen top to bottom. I would say dumb fun music is pretty much always entertaining. Well, I immediately take that back. I mean, I would say I enjoy dumb fun music most of the time because it's usually pretty simple. It's usually pretty it's nice and catchy. It doesn't overstay its welcome. Let's see. What was I gonna say with that?
Well, yeah. Okay. So on that.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I mean, I like the idea of. I don't know. Maybe you could even like put fun or like dumb music in a genre. Does that make sense?
I don't know.
Kind of like surfy, but it doesn't. I mean, that sounds a lot worse than it should, I think. But like it's fun. That's what makes it fun about it, like as opposed to listening to something that's like super deep and kind of alienates another audience that says like I don't want to listen to this crap. Like prog rock. Here's my classic example. Like it seems to be to me the people that love prog rock are like, yeah, listen how complex it is. Like, what makes Dragon Force great? Look at that guitar solo. Like, it's amazing. It's just so musically complex all the way through. But when I listen to Matt and Kim, I don't think that. I just think like, oh, this is fun. This is fun to listen to, and that's what I think there's other bands that make that. I think you could probably lump a lot of current pop music into stupid music. I guess if that's what we want to call it.
Yeah, I mean, pop has a tendency towards that, but there have definitely been periods of complexity in pop that I don't think we're seeing right now.
Right. But I don't think that it's like bad.
Okay. Yeah,
so what's the difference between Matt and Kim and Tenacious D?
Yeah, so that's a really good point.
I like Matt and Kim, and I hate Tenacious D.
I mean, Tenacious D is kind of strange because it presumes a level of musical intelligence. Like, if you really want to get all the jokes, you have to know about classic rock to understand why Tenacious D is funny. So that's part of it. You really only have to have, like, a basic understanding of hip-hop and pop music to enjoy Matt and Kim. So I think the barrier to entry is lower.
Okay, so what's the difference between Matt and Kim and Weird Al, then?
The
I like
difference.
Matt and Kim, and I don't like Weird Al.
See, I like almost all of the things we talked about. I don't like Tenacious D very much, but I did at one point. I think Matt and Kim is more of like dancey fun, like the dancey kind of fun, whereas Weird Al is like the joking late night talk show kind of fun.
I think what you're trying to say is Weird Al is a parody artist.
Right, yeah.
Different from...
But even beyond that, like even the songs that aren't full on parody,
yeah,
he's just kind of being goofy. Whereas
Right.
Matt and Kim is all about like, this is a night where you have gone out on the town, you're not at work, and you just want to maximize your time of not having any obligations.
So there's a difference between comedic and fun.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Although comedic is supposed to be fun.
It's a form of, yeah.
Right. A form of entertainment. Okay. So I think
Sorry.
that's...
I should say dumb fun. Anytime I said stupid until this point, I meant to say dumb fun.
Right.
Okay, so then the next question is, do we evaluate this fun music, dumb fun music, whatever we want to call it, differently than we evaluate serious music?
You mean differently as we evaluate all music differently based on its own genre?
Well,
Does that
yeah,
have to be
but...
placed within a context of other music?
Right, but like the difference between dumb rock and serious rock. Like, do we evaluate them on the same scale? Do we even listen to them in the same context?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, so since Matt and Kim is in like a dance spectrum, what would be the equivalent of like a rock dumb fun band?
Or okay, and two, what? I guess I'm curious what you would compare Matt and Kim to, because I have an idea in my mind if this is who I would put Matt and Kim with.
Who is your idea?
Is it Two Door Cinema Club?
No, just two-piece bands in general. That's where they fall. That's who I would probably compare them to more often than not, is bands that have a similar lineup to what they do, two-piece bands.
That's fair. Yeah, because then you can compare them to like Flat Duo Jets and Blood Red Shoes and Royal
The
Blood.
list goes on.
Yeah. But once again, they're playing in a bunch of different genres there too.
Right.
I guess for me, like I read Pitchfork's review of this album, which I shouldn't have done because Pitchfork. But like even one of the sites that I looked at, I know it wasn't Pitchfork, it was Consequence of Sound. My bad. They gave the album a C-, but then they were like, I mean, this is enjoyable, and like they're not trying to be anything they're not, but they still gave it a C-. Like, it doesn't have to be brilliant.
C's get degrees.
C's get degrees, yeah, and I'm
C's
sure
get
Matt and
degrees.
Kim would approve. But
Well, I think we should look at the. I mean, surely they've evolved over time.
oh, for sure.
At
Yeah.
least even a little bit, you know? Because, I mean, I feel like I definitely enjoyed this album front to back more so than their other albums. But, I mean, that's just me. But I don't know. I thought there was a lot of solid hits. There wasn't, like, any, like, one song that felt, like, weird or out of place. You know, it felt like it was good. It was a good listen through. And some albums aren't like that. Like, as I've learned with Andrew WK, maybe you don't want to listen to the whole album in one sitting. You know.
Good comparison. The two have toured together before and like run in the same party music circles. But yeah, I don't think you can listen to a whole album of Andrew WK like you can a Matt and Kim album. Okay. Sean, any thoughts on that before I ask the next question?
No, I think we're good on that.
Okay.
I can tell Sean has a lot of problems with this conversation, reviewing things.
Yeah, it's a lot of review questions. So then here's, I guess, the bigger question, because this is something we talk about on the show a lot. Persona. How much does persona play into this kind of music?
Can you give me an example?
So like Andrew WK has this persona of being the party guy, and he like has a party club, and he uses the word party all the time.
Right. And Alanis Morissette would be somebody who like hoards cats in grocery bags?
Yes.
Just kidding, Alanis. I love you.
I would say more like Danzig, but that also is a good answer, I guess.
But then Matt and Kim have this persona of like kind of dirty, pretty sexual, like white people dancing. They just have that persona to them.
Mm-hmm.
They come out on stage and introduce themselves and say, my name is Matt, and this is my partner in crime and my partner in sex, Kim. Like, do you think that persona kind of plays into the experience?
Probably a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I tweeted about like a month ago where I was like, how are Matt and Kim gonna get it in the morning if they're up till 1 a.m. at the club? You know?
Yeah.
How are you gonna start your morning workout routine at 8 a.m. if you're out partying, you know?
I mean,
They go hard.
they do go hard.
They go real hard.
Anybody who's seen them will know that they go hard. But I mean, that's part of the reason that I enjoy them, and I don't know if it's a public persona or if they're just really like that. Is they just have this personality of like, you know, we're going to be real frank. This music isn't that complex. It's not that difficult. But we know that you guys can't sing very well. We can't sing very well. So have a couple of beers, do some crowd surfing. Let's rage.
Yeah.
Be
No,
safe.
I
kids.
like that. Yeah, that's good with me. I'm all down. I don't have any critiques to make of this band. I can't
So
wait to
what's
see them
the
at Bunbury.
Hey.
Yeah, come to Bunbury. Be at Matt and Kim with us. We're going to try and hold Kim. That's my
Is that
goal
true?
for Bunbury 2015. Hold Kim. For those who don't know, she walks out onto the audience and you hold her feet and she dances. And I've never gotten up close enough to be a part of that, and I really want to this year.
That's trust.
So, what's the difference between Matt and Kim and Dropkick Murphys?
Ooh.
Once again, the lineage holds. I hate the Dropkick Murphys, and I like Matt and Kim.
I don't like the Dropkick Murphys that much either.
Wait, are you trying to say that you only have
I only
thought
listen to Matt
about
and
listening
Kim.
to Dropkick Murphys
I didn't
on
want to
St.
tell
Patrick's
anybody
Day?
that. Oh, I'm sorry, what did you say?
Are you trying to tell me, Sean, that you only listen to Dropkick Murphys on St. Patrick's Day and no other time?
I don't listen to them at any time, period.
You don't even think about it?
You're never just like, I really want some bagpipes with my
Part of
power
me's always
chords.
wondered how people learn the bagpipes. Like, I always had this scenario where it's like, if I ever learned the bagpipes, I would just move into the woods, like deep into the woods, and just try to learn them as best as I could so nobody could hear me.
And enjoy the fruit of the earth, just like Henry David Thoreau.
Because it just, bagpipes to me
Would
just
you
sound like
dare to-
if you have like a piano made of cats, like monotone in one key cats.
Wait a second. Do we put that in the Slack? The thing where there's those clamps that you can turn anything into a keyboard? Do you guys know what I'm talking
No,
about?
I haven't seen
No,
this.
there's this thing where you can plug two of these little clamps into
I'm not doing that
bananas,
with a cat.
and you can you can poke them and it'll make different tones.
That's so cool.
You could plug it into 4 buckets of water, splash in it, and it'll make sounds.
A plus.
Under $100 gadgets. We're doing it here. Dudes Brunch. You heard about it first.
We will make
ThinkGeek.com,
music out of our
kids.
brunch. We'll do it.
Exactly. Fork, sausage, plugs, amp.
Get a.
Look out, Royal Blood. We're coming for you.
That's right.
We are a band who plays on nothing but brunch foods,
Mm-hmm.
and then we eat them afterwards on stage, and you have to watch.
4
Performance.
slices of
That was also strangely erotic.
Apparently, this is the strangely erotic episode. So I think we've pretty much played everything out tonight. Drink some coffee, buy some cheap tech, and then go to a Matt and Kim show with us and tweet about it afterwards.
Right.
So shameless plugs. As always, you can find us as a show on Twitter @DudesBrunch, on Facebook, facebook.com/DudesBrunch, and you can subscribe to us on YouTube by searching Dudes Brunch. Sean, shameless plugs from you.
Where's my blog this week? Get up by getting down with your feelings on my blog. That's what I do.
Not the sickness.
No, not the sickness.
No.
Don't get down with the sickness.
What's your URL, Sean?
Tumblr.com/P makes the F sound.
PH makes
PH makes the F sound. I don't remember. I don't look at these things. I just post things. It's a deep process that I go through when I pick these things for people. So, and hit me up at my Twitter, because most of you won't even look at my blog anyway. So don't worry about it. I'm at blah 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 blah.
The good news is that you can find Sean at the exact thing that's listed on his overlay.
Yep, our Twitter handles are up on the screen literally the entire time. So, you know, you could talk smack to us during the show and it would like buzz all of our phones and throw us all off. And then Tyler would throw his iPad across the room like he always does.
Who doesn't want that, honestly?
You'll just turn the show into a train wreck. It'll be great. Tyler, shameless plugs from you.
Always a train wreck. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, aboard the hype train.
Right. Okay, so you can find me at TDR Design. I got a microphone, as you see here. So the eventual goal plan is, I know you did hear it. Pretty great, isn't it?
Yeah.
Gonna try to do some YouTube stuff. Maybe go over I'll do a design or something, then I'll do the voiceover over while I'm doing it. What's Sean? What's so giggle funny?
I have 2 new followers, guys. I have 2
Hey.
new followers. Musicbox CLE and Catherine D. Thanks, Catherine. You made my Tumblr forever. I'm doing a huge shout out to you because you found me.
Prepare to get sad.
Is that a follower on Tumblr? On
Twitter?
Twitter?
No, I don't know if she follows me on Tumblr, but she followed me on Twitter.
Oh, okay, good.
That's good that's fine.
But anyway, so I'm probably also gonna stream Hearthstone or something on Twitch eventually. I'm trying to get my streaming setup going. So get ready for that. My absolutely amateur level plays. TDR Design everywhere else. Tumblr, Facebook, Twitter. Get wrecked, kids.
Cool. And as for my shameless plugs, you can follow me on Twitter. My name is on the screen right now. You can hit pause on the video if you're watching later and follow me on Twitter. You should do that because nobody ever talks to me except Zach. Love you, Zach.
And
Thanks,
me.
Zach.
And Tyler.
And,
also,
and Catherine.
And Catherine.
Can you see who's watching right now?
I can't. I can only see there are 2 people watching, so it's probably Zach and Catherine.
Okay.
Pick it up. If it's you two, tweet at us.
Thank you.
Also, Dudes Brunch is now on Periscope. We did an experimental couple of live streams on, what was that, Thursday night?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they were really fun. They were just informal topics that we didn't cover on the show but wanted to talk about. We're going to be doing a few more of those from different bars, concerts, I don't know, apartments, alleyways, really wherever we are, so you can see us out in the wild.
Yeah, out of planes.
Yeah, and maybe if we see some of our regular viewers out in public, we will do a live stream with you, and you can get that Dudes Brunch bump on your social media accounts, which will be like 1 more person following you.
2 thumbs all the way up.
So yeah, follow us. We're on Periscope at Dudes Brunch, just like everywhere else. My Twitter's on the screen like everybody else's, and that's it. Next week on Dudes Brunch, Tyler.
Oh, Sarah said it's her. Sarah said one of them is her.
Oh, hi Sarah. Nice to see you. Sean, what are we talking about next week? Next week on Dudes Brunch?
Oh, oh crap.
Crap.
Girlfriend.
The origin of crap.
Till the end. Fecal.
Where's fecal?
Is it the end? Find out next week.
Who knows? Roland is watching. Hi, Roland. Thanks for finally
Thanks for watching,
the show
Roland.
live.
Roland, sorry, Roland.
All right, very good. Well, next week on Dudes Brunch, fecal matter and related things. Until then, follow us on the interwebs. We'll see you later.
Why did we decide on fecal matter to talk about?
I don't know. Let's just go home.
That's okay.
Bye-bye.
We're already home.
When does this end?
Bye-bye.